Hi, my name is Kelly Bolton, and I'm the Program Manager at Educational Testing Service for Digital Library and Interim Assessments. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. This presentation is intended for Local Educational Agency, or LEA, California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress, or CASP coordinators, and any other staff with an interest in learning about new features of and resources for the Smarter Balanced Interim Assessments and the Digital Library for the 2018-19 school year. This presentation is approximately 20 minutes in length. Please remember that in California, the Smarter Balanced Interim Assessments are available only to educators in California LEAs. Non-public school educators who provide direct instruction to California public school students may also have access. Any use, display, or distribution of the interim assessments that results in access to individuals beyond LEA staff and students is considered a compromise of assessment security. Immediate action must be taken to contain and limit the scope of a security compromise to the interims by collecting and destroying any hard or electronic materials containing test content. LEA staff should notify their LEA CASP coordinator immediately if they become aware of a security breach or compromise. Please note that security breaches for interim assessments are not reported in the Security and Test Administration Incident Reporting System, or STARS. Before we begin, note users can reference the Interim Assessment User Guide for more information regarding the online systems used to view, administer, score, and view results for the interim assessments. It's available on the CASP portal website's Interim Assessment Resources page at the link shown. This user guide is a valuable resource for implementing any part of the interim assessments. Now let's jump into the new features. During and after administration of the interim assessments, the completion status system can be used to monitor student completion for any interim assessments. The new features I'll cover include more dynamic search features, configural reports, and improved pagination. The first new feature includes more dynamic search capabilities. Users will be able to select multiple schools within an LEA and multiple grades within a school or LEA. In addition, users will also be able to search by statewide student identifier, or SSID, one or many, depending on the need. There's also a new section to further refine who you want completion status information for, the additional search section. This section includes fields for searching by gender, accessibility resource assigned, etc. Another new feature is the ability to configure the reports generated, both for on-screen viewing and for exports. This feature allows the user to customize the information by showing or hiding any of the columns. The information displayed on the screen will be the same as what is available in an exported report. The final new feature is improved pagination, allowing users to more easily navigate between multiple pages of reported data on the screen. The most notable changes for the 2018-19 administration year will be seen by the students. The student login process has been simplified and enhanced, and improvements have been made to the overall student experience. Here are some examples. Content validation is now available on the login screen. Students will be alerted if any of their login information does not match the expected format. The audio, visual, and text-to-speech checks are now combined on a single screen and are present based on the assigned accessibility resources or needs of the test. If a test has no need for audio or visual, and the student does not have text-to-speech assigned, this page will be skipped. Once the test administrator has approved the student for testing, the student's Begin Your Test screen is more streamlined. Students are presented with a screen where they are able to expand and collapse sections to allow viewing of the help information for the test they are about to take, the test settings or accessibility resources assigned, and any additional test information provided. For items that require students to enter a text response, students will have access to a floating toolbar with the typical editing tools. Boldface, italic, and the like will be easier for students to apply to their response. A final example is that for practice and training tests, the test settings screen allows the student to immediately preview the test setting he or she selects. For example, if he or she selects reverse contrast for the color choices, the screen will change to white text on a black background. This allows test administrators and students to make more informed decisions about the various test settings before actually beginning the practice or training test. The interim assessment hand scoring system is used for scoring student responses to interim assessments. Remember that many interim assessment blocks do not require hand scoring, but several do. Refer to the California Department of Education, or CDE, Smarter Balanced Interim Assessments webpage for information on which interim assessments require hand scoring. The new feature allows a user to re-score a student response if needed. This feature is available anytime during the administration year and should be used if there is a valid reason to re-score a student response. For example, if a user finds the rubric was misinterpreted or not used correctly. For additional information on hand scoring student responses on interim assessments, reference Module 4 of the Smarter Balanced Interim Assessment video series. This video is available on the CDE's webpage at the link shown. In addition, remember that users with current Test Operations Management System, or TOMS, login credentials are able to access the hand scoring materials at any time. These are available through TOMS and are the same training guides and exemplars available in the interim assessment hand scoring system. The interim assessment reporting system is used to view student results for the interim assessments. I want to remind you about several new features that were released in March 2018, as you may not have had an opportunity to use them. The key or distractor analysis is used to view the percentage of students who selected each option in selected response items. Users can then drill down to see how each student responded to a specific item. Writing trait scores allows users to view the English Language Arts Literacy Performance Task Trait scores for the interim assessment blocks and interim comprehensive assessment performance tasks. Users will now have access to previous interim assessment results for students who are new to their district or LEA. Please note, in the interim assessment reporting system, LEA is referred to as district. For this video, I will use the term LEA. Based on the level of access, administrators can now export data for the entire selected school or schools or the entire LEA. Additionally, custom aggregate reports allow administrators to create custom reports for interim comprehensive assessments. These reports can be generated at the LEA or school level and can be configured with a variety of filter or aggregate options. To provide additional support for larger LEAs, a regional administrator can view interim assessment results for specific groups of schools or an entire LEA. Here, you can see a number of schools added to a report at the LEA level. Instructional resources in the Digital Library Connections playlists are now available for all IABs. They are linked directly from the IA reporting system. In addition, states, LEAs, and schools can upload their own instructional resources for IABs. During the summer, several enhancements were made to the IA reporting system and will be available for the 2018-19 administration. The IA reporting system can now upload from an LEA's Student Information System in order to create student groups. This feature will allow teachers to reassign students from groups previously established by a school or LEA administrator to their own groups. Teachers now have the ability to create their own groups and can use a subset of students to do so. This previously required an administrator to make changes. The English Language Acquisition Status filter will include the fields English Only, English Learner, Initial Fluent English Proficient, Reclassified Fluent English Proficient, and To Be Determined. The IAB dashboard will show results for individuals and groups. On one screen, all of the IABs for a particular grade and content area will be displayed. The individual IAB dashboard will show the student's reporting category for each IAB and will indicate any IABs the student has started but not yet completed. The group IAB dashboard will provide a teacher with the score distribution for any IABs students have completed and will indicate any IABs the students have not yet completed. For additional information on the IA reporting system, see Module 5 of the Smarter Balanced Interim Assessment video series. This video is available on the CDE's webpage at the link shown. Content provided at the annual CASP Institute includes information about the components of the Smarter Balanced Assessment System, including the interim assessments. You can access Institute session materials for interim assessments at the link shown for more information. The Smarter Balanced Digital Library search interface has changed from its original form and is now more robust. The demo available at this link provides a walkthrough of how to use the search filters and find resources you are looking for. The Smarter Balanced Digital Library now has over 3,000 resources and not only serves as the formative assessment component of the Smarter Balanced Assessment System, but also provides on-demand professional learning resources for educators. Although no recent enhancements have been made to the digital library itself, I want to remind you about the Smarter Balanced Connections playlists, a valuable resource for teachers. Connections playlists are available for all interim assessment blocks. This is the playlist for the Grade 6 Geometry block. The playlists are directly linked to student performance and help inform next steps for instruction. Playlists are organized based on achievement level, and they describe skills that a student at that level is working to solidify. This is the area of right triangles resource for students near standard. Clicking on the link will open the resource in the digital library. These are quality instructional resources that will support the progress in student learning. The CDE has also created digital library playlists, available at the link shown. All of these resources are available in the digital library as well. The CDE released a new playlist in the Professional Learning series that focuses on performance tasks. Another valuable resource is the Formative Assessment in Action video series. These videos show how several LEAs are using formative assessment in their classrooms. They are available at the link shown. Using inquiry to identify and solve a math problem involving the number of knots tied in a given length of rope, defining sentences in an effort to enhance a written explanation of why it rains, and debating the effects of texting and video games on student learning are a few examples of the Formative Assessment in Action videos available as resources. The videos range from 9 to 12 minutes long and are a fantastic way to promote formative assessment strategies in the classroom. New Formative Assessment in Action resources were posted in summer 2018. Let's watch a few minutes of the Using Rubrics to Improve Student Writing video to give you a taste of the video series.
In my district, we use the interim assessments provided by Smarter Balanced often in the non-standardized way. So often we will see partners working in the assessment together. They might be logged in and they're having a discussion about the problem that they're working on, or they're composing a piece of writing together. That's really the power of the non-standardized way of administering these interim assessments, is that teachers have a lot of flexibility in how to go about doing that. You don't have to give your students all of the assessment items. You can focus on one. So we know that writing needs to be an iterative process, and you might need multiple opportunities in order to go back and revise. And so this is taking all of the discussion that we've been engaging in with partners, the work with the rubric, and the understanding of the key features of narrative writing, and then going back in to ensure that we've met all of the criteria on the rubric. It's really important for students to have that opportunity to work together to solve a problem, so that when they get to the summative assessment at the end of the year, they're better prepared to do that work on their own.
We've just spent some time reminding users about some of the existing features in the digital library and with the interim assessments, and highlighted some very exciting newly released features. I want to take a minute to talk about what's not changing for 2018-19. No new interim assessments will be released for 2018-19. Refer to the At a Glance document at the link shown to see which IABs are available at each grade. Smarter Balanced is currently developing focused IABs for release in the 2019-20 school year. More information on these new interim assessment blocks will be coming soon. As always, for assistance with questions or issues related to the interim assessments or the digital library, LEA CASP coordinators should consider their primary and first point of contact, the California Technical Assistance Center, or CalTAC. The California Department of Education's CASP office's contact information is also listed here. That concludes this presentation of the What's New for 2018-19 Digital Library and Interim Assessments. Thanks for watching.
All links mentioned in this video can be found in the comments section below.